Oh shit! Ah! Wow! What is going on? All you Cobra Kai motherfucking maniacs! What is cracking? We got the crew. We got the original OG crew back together. Back when we reviewed the earlier seasons of Cobra Kai, we got Rob from Entertainment Talk Nation in the house. How you doing, brother?
Good, very good.
All right. And we got the retro one himself, Leo. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you finally you binged. You had to catch up.
Yeah, I did. I had to do it a couple days.
It was like, come on, man. We can't do the stream without Leo here. We talked about the other season, so I'm glad you were able to catch up, brother.
Yes,
oh
sir.
Man, Cobra Kai. We gonna get into it. This is spoiler talk. Everybody watching right now, so just quick reminders. This will be spoilers. Who we got in the house? We got the Queen, Omniblast, hanging out. What's going on, Omni?
The Queen, indeed.
That's right. We got John Martinez.
You see that big smile on Lenny's face?
I know, right?
Well, what can I say?
There you go. Look at that. Look at that smile.
Yo, Lenny, you got to come to my stream and put all the boys in check. You know what I mean? You got to let them know. Because you know,
Rob, they still trying to get the digits?
Or of course, man.
I figured that's just part John of the Martinez. This is part of the life.
That's it. John Martinez in the house.
Lady.
AJ Mason and Geeky Andre. All right, what's going on, guys? Cobra Kai. Let's go ahead and talk into we're gonna be all over the place. We're gonna be all over the place. We'll try to keep you know us, we're gonna bounce everywhere. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I don't know what you guys thought. Rob, I stayed away from your review because I wanted to go in fresh and hear what you had to say. This is the first time I've enjoyed every single season of this show. For the Samurai Guy, this is the first time I actually want to rewatch a season.
Oh,
I've already done it twice.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I love the show. I put in all 9.5 hours the night it came out, from 3 a.m. to like 9:30 in the morning.
Killed it, knocked it out.
Yeah, killed it.
Nice. Yeah, it's just like every single season I've enjoyed for this show, and this season in particular, I'm like, dude, I actually want to watch it all over again. So it just proves, and I think the last couple of reviews we did, I think one of the main things you kept bringing up, Rob, was, you know, this number one, this show should not exist. You know, and I think Leo said this show should not be this good. You know, like the first season was kind of a fluke. It was like, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And now every other season has like been topping itself. And now we're in season 4 of a show that again should not exist and should not be good.
And usually at this point should start having diminishing returns, and it's not.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It should start to wear thin, and it did not.
No, even The Walking Dead started to wear thin on season 3.
Yeah.
So this shows, it's like the hottest show being talked about too. Did you guys see that reaction video from Andrew Garfield?
Yes,
he's such a mega fan. He was nearly in tears when the cast said hi to him. Like sincerely was in tears. Like he was like, I can't believe it.
I literally just got done watching that, which is kind of funny. You brought it up. But yeah, he was like, I can't believe they know who I am. I was like, you're like,
yeah, I know, right? Seriously.
Come on. But yeah, you know, let's go ahead and jump into it here. Basically, you know, hey, we got the tournament coming up. We got a deal. We made a deal. We made a pact with the devil, Kreese. All right. We're gonna train, right? We're gonna join forces. That's right. We're gonna join forces. Eagle Fang. That's right. Miyagi Fang. We're gonna join forces, right? And we're gonna prepare for that tournament. And whoever wins, the losers have to close down the dojo and stop teaching. So that was the deal. So again, the show opens up and you get some funny back and forth, especially with the different training styles between Johnny and Daniel and them trying desperately to work together. Poor Dimitri here, you know, he's getting kicked, but it's hilarious. But yeah, it's just like you get that funny back and forth because there's two different styles and they're trying to make it work. But what surprised me though was when they both were like, "Hey, all right, let's try to show a little bit more mutual respect. Maybe why it's not clicking. We're not really clicking is because we don't necessarily respect each other's style. Let's try each other's style out. Let's do some training." That surprised me. That surprised me, man. So you got, Johnny doing the Miyagi style here, and then you got Daniel doing the Eagle Fang style, is the tough man style. Just fuck it. We gonna punch some baseballs getting shot at us and doing push-ups from the nooks. We gonna do some nook ups, man shit, right? And they started, once that mutual respect started between both characters, they started to kind of understand each other a little bit. But what I love about this show is nothing's clean and perfect. Realistically, it's not going to be wine and roses all the time. I mean, they
it's
end
still
up hating
better
each
karate
other.
and martial arts than the Matrix.
It's true. It's true.
I still haven't seen it.
Resurrections, just to be clear.
Yeah, Resurrections. Yeah. You can actually see the fighting. It's nice. It's nice. You can actually see the fight scenes in this. Camera work was really well done. I even enjoyed them trying to let's see. I thought I had a shot of it. Let's see here. I thought I had a shot, but they had some interesting. The fights were very well shot, and even we had some interesting camera angles thrown in here. But Matrix Resurrection says "fuck you," and all these fight scenes should have been in the dark, right, Rob? Where you can't fucking see shit,
or at least like some lens flares in between kicks.
Lens flares.
Oh man, but yeah, I enjoyed them finding some sort. During their journey of trying to work together and train, they started to show respect. Of course, that doesn't last. But let's just talk about the motherfucking man. Let's talk about the man. My boy, my homie, my uncle. I've adopted him now. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know I'm his nephew. Terry motherfucking Silver's son. Wow. Thomas killed it, bro. Wow. Thomas killed it in this season, dude. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, he it's funny. They actually did a good job of making him seem very sympathetic because of the way he was being bullied by John. Yeah. And you almost felt for him when he put the pressure on. And I was actually kind of losing faith in the character because I'm like,
so was I.
I was like, wow, he's kind of being a pussy.
Yeah.
And then when the ending was revealed, I was like, oh, he pulled the silver. He did the silver.
Yeah.
he silvered Kreese.
Yeah. It was just phenomenal, man.
Yeah, it was really good. That was probably the one thing that caught me by surprise was that ending because they build up, they flash to the past with their bond, how hard they worked. And Silver actually made a very good point in the middle of the season when he was telling John, hey, look, last time we did it your way, we failed. We got to do something different. And he's right. And the one thing that had to be done different was that Silver had to, like you said, shed his weakness. So I thought that it makes next season more interesting because now he's the big bad.
Yeah.
Because I see a redemption arc coming for John Kreese. And I think that was foreshadowed when they showed just how much he really does care for John Lawrence in his own weird, diabolic way. But he does have a little place in his heart for Johnny Lawrence. So, Silver is going to be the big bad. I think that's when we're going to see Barnes come back. I think they foreshadowed that as well when he was like, I got other people who can help me run Cobra Kai. I think that's definitely a foreshadow. Yeah.
Bring in Barnes.
So, but he was great. He was great. He showed a lot of range, you know, because he did a good job, at least to me, of making you feel bad for him. Only for him to come out and be a complete dickwad at the end of the show. So I thought it was great.
Yeah. Thoughts, Leo, on the Silver?
On Terry Silver, I love how they started it out where, they almost kind of explained when they were talking in that scene right there. He's kind of like, that's where Kreese is trying to convince him to, come back and we're going to do what we started originally and all this stuff. And he kind of goes, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, and you're like, oh, okay. And he explains. It's kind of funny because he kind of starts. They kind of make fun of the fact that his character was so over the fucking top. You know what I mean? Which I know you always talk about was your favorite part of Karate Kid 3. If there's anything to like, was obviously Terry Silver's just over the top portrayal. And he's like, he basically says straight up, like, I was hyped up on cocaine the whole time.
Yeah. They kind of retcon that. I like that. I was like, oh, that's like, why he was.
Right. And he's like, I was legit like torturing a kid over an entire summer over karate. Like, you know what I mean? So
he's like, I was out of my mind.
So you think he's like completely reformed, you know what I mean? And you kind of believe he is like this changed person. I mean, the whole thing starts where he's like playing a symphony on piano and shit. You know what I mean? It's like super epic. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of what Rob said was there was a certain point where Reese starts to put his foot down. You know, halfway through the season, because you see Terry Silver's kind of starting to take over kind of thing with the dojo, and he's kind of making Reese look bad at one point. He says like everyone has a weakness, and he's like even Reese or something. I don't remember, but he made him say he had a weakness and all this stuff, and he didn't like that. So finally he just puts him in his place, and he's like, don't forget, Lieutenant. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's a full-on scene like that whole episode where it ends where he's legit like his lower lip is quivering. Reese makes him like cry almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Kreese, I don't know why I keep saying Reese. That's like the sixth fucking time I've said Reese. Kreese. But it's and so then that's where you think like, okay, so Kreese is kind of like regains command of this whole thing, and you kind of see Terry Silver kind of relegate himself to the back, and that's kind of happens all the way up until the final tournament, you know what I mean? Right. Then Kreese does this whole like has a moment of sympathy and thinks back to when he was a dick to Johnny back in the day and made him cheat and all this stuff. Right. And so he's like, oh, Kreese is basically or Silver's trying to get my favorite Tori. She kind of redeemed herself a little bit, I guess, this season. We'll talk about that, but tries to get her to, I guess, cheat. Or be really aggressive. I can't remember what it is, but then Kreese is just like, nah, don't do that. He starts thinking, and then that's where you start to see the shift in Kreese. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when that ending comes at the end, you really feel bad for him. Actually, by that point, I think you're kind of like you feel bad for Kreese. You know what I mean? For sure. Terry Silver was awesome, though. I mean, I'm ranting and raving, but dude. He was a great part of the show.
And I think there was another reason why I enjoyed this season so much was there was so much unexpected moments throughout the show. Like I was surprised at so many things. Like I wasn't expecting Silver to immediately reject. Like as soon as he calls him on the phone, he's just like picks up the phone and then bloop, all right, back to playing. Like immediately rejects him. And I wasn't expecting once Silver came back to the fold, I wasn't expecting him to have this conversation like Rob was saying. It's like, look, we did this already, I was on cocaine. I was a fucking maniac torturing a teenager all year. What the hell was I doing? I was out of my mind. Right. And he's like, we got to do things different. And then again, unexpected moments, the tension between him and Kreese came out of nowhere. It built to that tension, and I was like, wasn't expecting that. I expected them to kind of get back together and everything was going to be easy peasy, especially when he folded that hair back. I was like, oh shit, it's time. Yeah. It's Terry Silver time, baby. And he still got the moves, man. I mean, Thomas Ian Griffith, he's a legit real life martial artist. Like he's still got the moves for his age. I can't do that shit now.
He looks great for his age too. I mean, I swear to God, if he dyed his hair black, he would not look that much different than he did years ago.
Probably, right?
I mean, I hardly saw any wrinkles in his face, man. I'm telling you.
Right.
Yeah.
He looks very good for his age for sure.
Yeah. But another more unexpected moments was, out of all the characters in this show, hold on, I'm trying to find it. Fucking Meat, bro. Meat.
He did good.
Seriously, his power levels have risen. He's got more confidence. He realizes that he can kick ass when he puts his mind to it. I was impressed when they were doing the katas at the end, and Demetrius came out there with the 2 commas, and he's spinning the commas and shit. I was like, go ahead, Meat. Look at Meat.
It's taken him 3 seasons to get his shit together.
I was like, look at this dude. But it's
all
like...
it takes is a. I don't want to say it. It was so bad. I was going to say something horrible.
So
all it takes is an amazing Pac-Man suit. That's all it takes. You know?
No, that's not what I was going to say.
I know what you were going to say, Rob. But I just wanted to point this out that this was amazing.
Yeah,
If
it was
I
a
could
great
wear
suit.
This, I would wear the Pac-Man suit. What were you going to say, Leo?
I was just wondering what you guys thought of the how the son came back into play.
Oh, I fucking hate him.
Right.
I fucking hate.
Can somebody give that kid a fucking haircut?
Well, I'm
my
confused.
God!
So is this the same actor and he lost a bunch of weight?
Yeah,
okay.
He lost weight. Yeah.
Well, he grew up. Okay, well, I mean, I felt like he was, he did put some work in. I feel like, you know what I mean, and because there was a noticeable difference between that first. Because I remember thinking like that was going to be like a whole like part of the show. You know what I mean? Like this kid didn't want to do anything active and just played video games all the time. And then he just did nothing with his character for 3 seasons.
I hated him then.
Yeah,
I hated him then. I hate him now. Fuck this little shit character.
But look at that fucking hairpiece. I mean, you got to cut that shit, man. You're in Hollywood now. Let's get real with that. I can't grow hair, and I still wouldn't want that much.
Well, it bummed me out because the reason why I was bummed out by his character was I thought he was like kind of an overweight kid. I thought was the whole thing in the first couple seasons, or the first time he was ever introduced. So then he's a bully now. It was just kind of weird. It was confusing to me because I was like, I thought.
Well, he's playing the. I don't mean to interrupt you. He's playing the spoiled brat punk kid. Is essentially what he is. That the one that feels like he's entitled to everything. He's got a, but he was being punked out by his own friends. So it's like, I mean, he was a bit of a bitch. So
I mean, as of right now, the only real purpose for this piece of shit fuck is it establishes our new character here, and he has to fight the bully. My concern, and I don't mind this new character. My concern, though, was we already got too many goddamn kids. We don't need to be adding new kids and new characters. Like I don't think we need to. But everything has a purpose at some point. So he has to put up. He's getting bullied by this piece of shit, which brings him to Cobra Kai, and the character arc here is for Robbie, kind of becomes his mentor in a way, which doesn't work. It backfires at the end. And what's his character's name? Rob?
Kenny
Goes to the continues being with the Siths, the dark side, and Robbie bounces out. So it backfires because Robbie, when he meets up with his father at the end, and we have this emotional moment. At the very end, he's like, he says, "I'm tired of blaming you, Dad." And I said, "Thank God."
Yeah.
I said, "Thank God that he said that." He's like, "I'm tired of blaming you." And he saw himself. He said he saw the worst of himself start to appear with Kenny. So again, every character has a purpose here, and I get why the Russo son is written the way he's written. That doesn't mean I like the character. I fucking hate this character. I hate everything. I could not believe a goddamn thing that came out of this kid's mouth. I couldn't believe it. Oh, I took out the trash. I took out the trash. Did you? Did you take out the trash? Right? Like I couldn't believe anything, And my only nitpick. This is a small, minor nitpick because, like I said, every character has a purpose, right? Was I felt like the show at the very last minute, they shoved in his redemption way too quick. And they were trying to make you feel sorry for this little piece of shit at the very end when he goes to see Kenny and, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it." And then Kenny beats the shit out of him, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, he did beat the shit out of him.
And then, I was like,
"Show you Agent Smith."
Yeah,
right, right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I get it storyline wise, it all makes sense, but I'm still annoyed as fuck with this. I don't
think I have to say though, I don't think his redemption arc is going to be based on this. I think his redemption arc is going to be respecting Miyagi, becoming a young man. I think that's going to be his redemption. I don't think I don't think his redemption was this season. I think this season was his learning lesson. I think he learned. I think his redemption might involve bringing Kenny back into the fold. I have a feeling Robbie's going to be so wrapped up with making amends with his dad that he's not going to have time for Kenny, and somehow him and Kenny and this kid are going to, because they're going to be at school together. They're going to be spending more time together.
Right.
It'll be interesting though. I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the kid. I just want him to cut that fucking hair. Just cut the hair, man. My God.
With really great writing, any character could be redeemed, but the writing has to be good and it has to make sense. I thought he was just real too quick to turn good at the end, doing chores, and out of nowhere he's apologizing way too fast. That's my issue with the character. Other than that, though, I did enjoy seeing Sith Kenny. Believe it or not,
Sith Kenny.
I enjoyed Sith Kenny, man, and he's all like, look, he's all bug-eyed and shit. After he did the ground and pound, he's like, I can't wait to be with you next year. School,
I know he gets about high
he's
school.
all like,
high school.
Oh, it's hilarious, man. I was like,
ballistic.
All right. I was like, all right, Kenny,
taking that cocaine that Silver took. He's like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you.
I liked Kenny's character introduction into this season too, because obviously the kid was already, the LaRusso kid was already a character, right?
Yeah, kind of.
I liked Kenny though. I feel like a lot of shows do that. Like you don't need new characters, but most shows do that. They introduce new characters, and I feel like they did well with him. You know what I mean? They just, it's pretty simple. New kid getting picked on, right? Because he was dancing or whatever, remember, and he was listening to headphones. Then like he didn't hear the school bus behind him, so all the kids started laughing at him from the get go, like day one. So
I'm not gonna lie, I would have been one of those kids. I was watching him dance, and I'm like, little fuck, man, I would have bullied your ass in school too, man. Shit, looking like a fool like that. What's wrong with you?
Oh man,
I sense Rob's inner silver.
I got a pile of cocaine right next to me. You just can't see it. Why do you think I'm wearing white so that way when it spills,
man.
So there were a lot of characters, a lot of good character arcs, I feel like, this season. I really cared about it. Was just the progression of these characters have gotten so good to a point where, like I said, I even kind of was like, oh, Tori almost kind of redeemed herself a bit for me this season. And you guys know I've been ragging on her character since that school fight scene,
Yeah.
But I the one character that I didn't like the character arc of, I understand what they're doing with it, but I didn't like Miguel's character. I didn't like the fact that the champion just quit at the during the tournament. Like that really bothered me. I was trying to process it. I'm like, oh, so you just said fuck it? Like I don't even know why I'm fighting anymore. This is like the champ, Miguel. You know what I mean?
Well, I think then Johnny blamed himself. He said, "This is my fault." I think everything was probably a little bit too much, too quickly for him. Like finding out, his sensei's banging his mom.
Right.
Come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. What are you doing leaving your goddamn black belt in the bed? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I was just bummed out.
Come on, dude.
I was rooting for him in the tournament, dude.
I was
a little surprised that he quit.
Is it just me or did he put on weight?
A little bit.
Has.
He looked bigger, didn't he?
He's bulking up though, like he's lifting weights.
Yeah, you could tell.
He's got, Same with Robbie though. Robbie's bigger also.
He looked like a badass this year doing his karate.
Yeah, he improved, especially when he did his kata at the end. You could tell the form's a lot better. He's moving better. Everyone's improved. Everyone's improved. But yeah, again, going off of what Leo was saying, again, another unexpected moment, especially when you was like, here it is, the triumphant comeback, and he's going to wreck shop, and then he injures himself again.
Right.
My only thing was when he screams out "Sensei!"
Right.
I was like, the way he screamed, it was like he got shot. Like the way he screamed, it was like he's paralyzed. And then the next episode is like, oh, you just got a pulled muscle, you'll be all right. You got 30 minutes. You got 30 minutes. You'll be all right. I was like, what?
I can imagine the scare though. I'm sure initially feeling the pain, and then I think calling out for his sensei, considering his sensei was the one that stood by his side when he was going through the whole thing. But yeah, I was a little surprised too that it was just a back sprain. I was expecting him to come out with a cast walking like this. You know?
Right. My son's all bug eyed and shit. He's like, what? Looking over at me like, oh my God, look, is he okay? And like the next episode starts and the dude's like, oh, it's just a muscle sprain. No big deal. So that was kind of weird to me too.
I like when I know, right? Oh, you're all right. Put some Ben Gay on there. You'll be all right. Some tussin. We got I like when Silver and them rolled up to the pad. They rolled up talking shit. And already Kreese is working on Johnny. He's like, oh, he's playing second fiddle to Danny Boy, I see. He's already working on him. It's so good, man. So such great characters in this. But what I liked about this scene was up to this point, again, like Leo was saying, like Silver was kind of taking over a little bit, doing things differently. And he kind of rolled up and tried to mad dog Daniel. He approached Daniel differently. And he got shot down. And what was the first thing he said when they left out of there? He's like, that little shit. Like as soon as he walked up in there with confidence and approached Daniel differently. And then since that didn't go well, he walked out. He's like, fuck this little asshole, right? It kind of cracked me up. But of course, Silver's gonna meet up with him later. Talk about, I see it in you. I see it in you, son. You got a little bit of Cobra Kai still stuck up in there. Yeah, I'm gonna release it somehow, baby. Yeah,
whose character I started to like more this season too is what's her name? I don't know. I always forget her name, but Daniel LaRusso's daughter. She's a badass. She's kind of a badass this season.
I think this is the first time I wasn't as annoyed.
Right.
Well, I think the reason for that is because they kind of shed her in a little villainy. If you kind of look at the show, they were gearing it more towards being sympathetic towards Tori and not as sympathetic towards Sam.
Right.
Now, and what makes that so incredibly good is that Sam has every reason to hate Tori for all the shit she's done to her. But at the same time, it's conflicting because now that you learn more about Tori's situation, you kind of feel for her too. Yeah, she was. I would say her and Hawk probably had the biggest arcs this season.
Yeah.
Hawk had his redemption and ended up winning, right? And which I was very happy about because Hawk's like my favorite character, Eli. I hope he comes back with the Mohawk though. I don't want him to be. I don't want to be him too much of a nice guy. I kind of like when he had that edge.
Yeah. When he had this,
Yeah, exactly. He had that going on.
I inspired Cobra Kai.
But Tori, who's played by my nomination for an eventual Spider-Woman, was talking about downstream. Like Peyton List, that's my nomination. I just want to put that on record so that way when it does happen, everybody can call me a fucking genius. Yeah, I liked her arc the most this season. She's not there yet. I don't think it's a redemption. Like it is a path towards redemption. You could see it coming. Right. I think next year will be her full redemption. I think what's going to happen next year is we're going to get a new baddie kid, and I have a feeling it's going to be Barnes' son. I have a feeling because you're going to see now, right? Robbie's going to return, I think, to the Eagle Fang whole thing. Right. I don't think Miguel's ever going back to Cobra Kai.
Right.
And you really don't have anyone over there now to be the big baddie, so to speak. And I think next year, there's going to be more kids coming in. I think Barnes is going to come through and Barnes is going to be like, we could take out these kids. I got my son. He's fucking 19 years old. He's a black belt in every fucking form of martial arts in the world. He trained with Steven Seagal when he was a kid. Not me stopping this. But that's just my gut prediction because it looks like Robbie's going to come back. And if you have Robbie, Miguel, and Hawk on the same team, who the fuck Cobra Kai got?
Right.
So I think it's going to be pretty obvious. We're going to get. Plus, you got Chosen coming in now to train.
Dude, oh my god,
you know what I mean? I was Cobra Kai's got to step it up.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Chosen's going to show up to help stop Cobra Kai? Like I was losing it, bro.
When that happened and they started to do the reveal, I was like legit going like Hillary Swank, show, because I was like, fuck, because I know they've been saying that's going to happen at some point, but who knows if it'll happen? But that would have been cool. It would have been cool to see a new character.
What if she's married to Mike Barnes? Bam, Hillary Big Boots.
I'm still waiting to find out who I'm still waiting to find out who Miguel's father is. Because I remember my whole prediction was it was Terry Silver and he was or some nonsense, you know.
Some people are saying, is Miguel's father Mike Barnes? That's what some people were saying. I'm like, what the fuck is Mike Barnes doing in Mexico?
Right.
Yeah, what's he doing down there?
I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. Yeah.
Well, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I kind of see Mike Barnes being a little bit successful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I kind of see him like a lesser Terry Silver. Like, he's not a washed up. I think he's just I don't know. I don't think there's anyone else in the Karate Kid movies that we could put into the current show that would play like that kind of role.
Right.
Maybe it's just a regular actor.
Unless it's the Spanish kid from the beach when they played volleyball that made friends with Daniel when he first got to, remember the first movie? The Spanish kid, the Filipino kid or something like that. Maybe it's him. Right. Or some shit. I don't know.
Oh man. I hope. Well, maybe we shouldn't have our expectations so high to see who his dad is. It might be disappointing. It might be just some dude.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the big like reveal. I think it's going to be just an actor come in. I think the big reveal next year is going to be definitely going to be Barnes. Got to be. I think that's the only one they got to go back to. Other than
he's been wanting to get on the show, so they should throw him a bone.
Yeah, Swank's definitely going to come in at some. I mean, come on, they got freaking Carrie Underwood singing a fucking song. I know that's just to kind of show how big the show's gotten. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's
another nitpick of mine. They didn't need that, but whatever.
They didn't need that at all.
They did not need Carrie Underwood singing. They could have skipped that, but whatever.
Yeah, they were just flashing their success. That's all. And hey, you know what? More power to them.
I'm happy though that wasn't like the main tournament. That wasn't going on during the main meet, like the main fights. I would have been really pissed if the main fights were a montage over Carrie Underwood singing.
Right.
I would have been pissed.
Right.
But it's just like the opening jobbers got their asses kicked.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was.
So that's okay. But still, whatever. But yeah, more unexpected moments for sure. I mean, the whole Johnny getting jealous of Daniel, that played into effect. That was interesting. What cracked me up was when they decided to say "fuck you," and they decided not to work together. Johnny telling the bartender to fuck off.
Oh, that was so hilarious. He told me he literally says "shut the fuck up," and I looked over at Desmond and my son. I was like, I didn't expect that. It's a Netflix show.
Shut the fuck up, Dad. Desmond, don't say that.
So funny though. So hilarious.
That was great.
Is that the only F-bomb in 4 seasons? I mean,
no, Eli
did,
he says I'm going to win the whole fucking tournament.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like this. This is why I love Johnny. This is why I love Johnny, man.
There were a couple good emotional moments, man.
Yeah. And of course, Danny's not happy because he kind of almost in a small way looks at Robbie as a traitor. Basically teaching them the Miyagi-Do defense. Like teaching them the secrets. Danny didn't like that. The overall theme of the show I really enjoyed, and again, not expecting it, and that's taking what you've learned and making it your own. And that's what Bruce Lee taught. That's the whole concept of Jeet Kune Do. I created Jeet Kune Do. Here's the basics. You take that, you do whatever you want with it. You make your own style. And I really enjoyed that was the main theme. And that's of the show towards the end. And that's what kind of brought, again, unexpected, not expecting it, that kind of brought Danny and Johnny together. They said, well, let's work together. And I enjoyed that part during the Sam fight when she was fighting Tori, and it looks like she got hit, and then she goes back there. She talks to her dad, and then the dad goes, "You know what you need to do." And then before she goes back in there to fight Tori, she stops and then she turns and looks at Johnny because she's been actually respecting Johnny a little bit more once they kind of got over that little hump and Johnny put her in her place. She was kind of enjoying the Eagle Fang style a little bit and learning Eagle Fang style. And the Eagle Fang style, once he gave her the nod, even though he's an opponent, opposing team, she went in there and got a hit on Tori. And then you see Daniel's face like, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? So I loved how the show slowly built to that theme of always have an open mind. learn any styles or how many styles that you can learn, so that makes you a better fighter, a better martial artist. That's the theme of the show. And I forgot that Miyagi line from Karate Kid 3. Why? Because I forgot Karate Kid 3 because it sucks. Sorry. Terry Silver's awesome though. But I forgot that line with the plant.
Right.
And they go back to that line.
Because there's good elements.
Yeah, where Miyagi basically saying, he's like, no. You learn from me. You do what's best. You learn from me. You take that. You make it yours, Daniel. I forgot that line was even in there.
That scene between them was important, between him and Johnny, because that was 4 seasons worth of frustration. I felt like they finally were honest with each other.
And it's also bittersweet because as great as it was too little too late.
Yeah.
Because if they had gotten their shit together in the middle of the season, they would have won.
Yeah.
So that's what makes that scene even better, is that it is a great moment, but you realize bittersweet because it's great you guys finally got together, but you did it too late. And I think that's the lesson they're going to take from that next season. One of the criticisms I got to say though with the tournament is the minute Hawk won, you knew Samantha was losing. Yeah, it was kind of predictable.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the one criticism I got to give. Well, I have a few more, but nothing major. I still love it, but the season was pretty predictable. You kind of knew that Cobra Kai was going to win this, and I think it was kind of solidified once Johnny and Daniel kind of broke apart after they learned each other's lessons, because they took something valuable away from it. And there's that scene where I think Johnny was fighting Terry, and you could see him
so great
subconsciously using wax on, wax. He didn't even realize it, but I remember they slowed down that portion of him fighting, and you can see him using all the moves. And I think that see, there it is right there,
dude. I screamed, bro. I was fanboying out. I was like, oh my god, Johnny's fighting Terry Silver right now. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I love in the 2 fights that Terry was in, I love his character was just having so much fun fighting again and being eval. I loved it because if you watch 2 of the fights he had, when earlier he was kind of testing out Robbie. He's like, come on, show me what you got, son. And completely punks Robbie. If you watch him in that fight, and if you watch him during the fight with Johnny, he's smiling the whole time. The entire time he's smiling.
Yeah,
it's fucking great, dude. It's fucking great.
He gets in your head. That's what it is. He fucks with your head.
Yeah.
The other,
like you said, Rod, he called them out on it too. He's like, oh, look at him with that Miyagi defense.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He gets in your head. The other
is great.
Yeah, it was really good scene. That was nice to watch. I think the other criticism I wanted to mention was that, and I didn't mention this in my review, but I didn't like the fact that we found out later that Silver paid off the ref.
I didn't like that
because it takes away from Tori's victory, which I kind of feel like her character needed that. To kind of build that confidence and so I wasn't too crazy about that either, because it almost, I mean, I get it from a narrative perspective because that's how Terry is, but I don't know. I don't think it was necessary. Because that's kind of like, that's almost solidifying the very narrative they were trying to argue somewhat against with Sam, is that she gets everything she wants, and in this case it's like she didn't get what she wanted, but that's because she cheated. No, she didn't get what she wanted because she lost to the better fighter. That's my opinion.
It was,
I know, like, I'm looking a little too deep into it that way, but that's kind of my takeaway from that.
No, that's interesting to point out for sure, especially after Eli gets his confidence booster.
Did she lose to the but did she, I mean, were there points awarded that made Tori win? Is that,
well, here's the thing. Both main fights were bittersweet. Both of them.
Yeah.
Eli technically didn't win clean. I was happy he won because I liked the character. But he didn't win clean. They pulled a pro wrestling move. They still gave Robbie face. Like, he didn't really lose clean because he was distracted by Kenny. So both fights weren't really clean necessarily. Now but that's
Robbie's fault though. That's not necessarily that I wasn't clean. That's Robbie should be focusing on the fight, not looking back at Kenny.
I thought it was a clean shot, right? Like he took him down and then kicked him.
He had him though. He had Eli. Like that was a wrap. And he stopped.
Right.
So yeah, it's his fault. That is a good point. It is his fault.
Wasn't that what they were
But he
trying to say?
stopped.
That's what Robbie's weakness is, right? What they were implying since beginning.
Compassion,
earlier
like
in the
something like
season.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with back to the Sam fight here, that last move that she did on Sam was legit and clean, and she did beat Sam with that last move. It was just the move before that. She steps out of bounds, and the ref kind of like, oh no, she steps out of bounds, but she got hit before she stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, it's technically Sam should have won.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And Sam did win.
But the move after that, she got her. Tori did get
Sam,
her clean. So
Sam did win the first two fights too, technically, she said. Or I mean, because according to her, remember when she came back into school and she's like, I'll kick your ass for a third time or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sam kind of has Tori's number. You know,
kids, am I right? You know, like, they forget so quickly. Because I remember her getting romped on at the school fight.
Yeah.
So
I want to know what your guys' favorite moment was from the show. Just favorite moment. I'll start. How about I'll do one.
Besides the ending, but yeah, go ahead.
A quick one. There's a quick scene where, remember when Johnny is drunk because he got his ass kicked by Terry in the face?
Oh, that scene. Yeah, that got me. Scene, that got me, dude.
So I was like, okay, so wow, like the acting of Miguel's character and Johnny both. God damn, dude, the chemistry on screen is amazing. But I mean, he's putting Johnny to bed, and Johnny's drunk because he literally Terry Silver just kicked his ass, and Kreese stops Terry from kicking his ass any further. So Johnny's drunk. He puts him in bed, takes his shoes off, and all this stuff, and then he legit is Johnny starts kind of saying, he says I'm sorry, or I want to be a better person to you, or something. Be a better
father, yeah. A better
father to you, right? And so then, I mean, he's Miguel's just taken aback by this comment, and he's just you're doing a great job. I love you. And he's in tears as he says this, right? And then Johnny's in tears, and he rolls over and says, I love you too, Robbie.
Yeah.
And then
damn, dude, that's your favorite moment? Because you ice cold bastard. That shit had me in tears, man. I felt for that kid.
That's what I'm saying. It had me in tears too.
Yeah. It got me. I was like,
fucking amazing.
I was like,
it's cold as ice.
Wow, dude. Yeah, I mean, for me, the best moment of the show, acting wise, and something.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Something for the character progression of those two, because then from that moment on, I think Johnny even says, what's are you okay? And he's like, oh, it's just because of your girlfriend, right? Because you broke up with the girlfriend, and he's like, yeah, Sensei, that's what it is. Johnny doesn't even remember that. You know what I mean? But that is just stuck with Miguel. And I think that's the moment that made Miguel change and go on this alternate path of not caring about karate and wanting to find his father. It was that moment.
Yeah.
Because he legit said to him, I love you, Sensei. Right. You're doing a great job. And then he calls him Robbie, and it crushes him.
I know. I was like,
it's the worst, dude.
Yeah, man, it was rough. I do feel, though, that you would consider they spent the last 4 seasons together. You would think he'd give him a little slack. You know what I mean? I mean, Robbie is his son. Miguel's well aware that, he wants to kind of make amends.
Yeah.
And with everything that he's done for Miguel, you would think he'd cut him a little slack. But I think you're right. I think the key difference here is that at that point, he's getting closer to the family. You know what I'm saying? He's getting with the mom. The grandmother loves Johnny, so he's starting to see Johnny in a different light. And I think I think that's why. But so I was kind of that part was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And looking at it from a critical perspective, if you want to call it that, I just felt I was little 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. On one, I know on one hand, I was like, damn, I could see that. And then on the other hand, I was like, yeah, but cut the guy some slack. He's been basically revolving his whole life around you for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And he brought you back to health. So, I guess you can go either way. If he didn't cry and he kind of just sulked and said, all right, I get it. I would have accepted that too. But I definitely accept this as well because, like you said, it was well acted. You could see Miguel looking at him in a different shade now because he is getting closer to the family. He's not just Sensei anymore. And then knowing that that I think also was the revelation for Miguel was that this dude's never going to be my dad. He's already got a son. I got to find my own dad, and that's what set him off. You know what I mean?
He just his head wasn't there.
Yeah,
his head wasn't there. He probably could have came out and won, but he's like, I'm not. There's nothing.
He's clearly the best one in the group.
He said that he didn't have a reason to fight.
Yeah,
something like when he got on the bus, the narrative. Rob, what do you think about this character making an appearance?
I didn't give a shit. I was like, oh, look at that. I was like, oh,
I was kind of curious why they brought her back. I mean, I was kind of like, oh,
like
all right,
for like half a minute.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to reintroduce her next season. There's a way to reintroduce her character and then bring her back next season, maybe, because otherwise, what was the point? Like,
yeah, I think that's probably the long game.
Good call.
And I think it brings an interesting element because she's still talking Cobra Kai. You know what I mean? And I think that's another thing that probably Sam's going to have to deal with. And these kids are all fucked up.
Oh, what if that would be awesome if they had to fight?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to set up because I think Tori at some point next season is going to shift gears.
Right.
And this is why I'm saying Cobra Kai's got to cut. There's going to be a big she might be the big female villain for next year. And I think there's going to be some other.
Or would she leave Cobra Kai because she knows that her win was false? Will she be like, fuck this, I'm out?
Tori.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think at some point, I don't think it's going to happen right away. Tori is too stubborn and hard-headed.
Right.
They still don't like each other, Tori and Sam. But I think the mother is going to kind of be the catalyst to kind of bring them together. And I think Tori will eventually shift. I think Aisha probably will come back, and there's going to be a gap there because now that Sam is more involved in the karate, unlike she was in the first season, you know, Aisha's gonna be like, "What are you doing with Miyagi? They're the enemy. Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai is forever and this and that."
Yeah,
that's gonna cause an issue, and then you'll see Tori kind of becoming maybe the best friend at some point, or at least a little friendlier.
That's going to happen. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of see that. I kind of see that being set up. That's what I'm saying. The show is starting to get a little predictable. It doesn't make it any less fantastic. But there's been a formula here of these kids constantly rotating through dojos. You know what I mean? So Robbie was with Miyagi, now he's with Cobra Kai, now he's going to come back to Miyagi. Miguel was Eagle Fang, Cobra Kai, Miyagi, and then Johnny Lawrence is jealous, and then you have obviously Eli, the only ones that have been consistent have been the goons. You know what I mean? Like the tall black kid and
Dimitri,
and all that stuff. So I think Dimitri's going to be the breakout character next year. I think he's going to be the one to do some serious karate shit next year.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got the hot blonde teenage girl with him, so he's feeling like. And you got to know the fact that he's
bro.
The fact that it's not the Pac-Man suit. He's probably got like a 9-inch dick. Let's be real. He's got to be rocking. He's got to be rolling that shit. He's got to be swinging that shit on the shoulder. Yo, baby, check this out. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you want to see the helicopter? You know.
Oh my god, dude! Oh, that's why I love you, brother. But another one of my favorite moments.
Just real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
That love. I want to make sure after this weekend you still have the same feelings because you and your wife are getting a wonderful gift from me.
Okay, all right. I appreciate it. I'm nervous, but then I'm like, Rob wouldn't do us that dirty. I appreciate the gag gifts of love. The birthday gifts, the gag birthday gifts. Yeah,
that's right.
I appreciate it, man. Another moment that was kind of, I was like, oh no, is Tori lost her job? Is Tori becoming a stripper? Oh no, what's going on? And then
that's what I thought.
And then this happens, and I was laughing.
I was like, oh shit, this show got some balls, man. I was like,
I was busting up. I was like, oh man, she's working for the little kid party.
You know what's funny? That would make sense because that shit happens. You know, you think about some girls growing up, they have it rough. They drop out of school, and that's some of the first time. That's like the first thing they do.
Right.
You know, it's the easiest money to make.
They're almost alluding to it. Like they're trying to make you think that's what she's doing. You know,
right?
Like just weird ass dude. Like, oh, you're got to be on stage in 5 minutes. You know, and she's like staring at herself, putting makeup on. You know, you're like, oh, she's a stripper now. And then it's like, oh, she's a singing mermaid for a
Yeah.
birthday party.
Yeah. Kids' birthday parties, and that's the scene. That scene is funny. So since we're on that, that's a prime example of how they were making Sam look like the bad guy. Because here she is just trying to do her job. All right, I understand you don't like the girl, but have some respect. Let her do her work, fall back. But no, Sam rolls up there and such a bitch. Yeah. But they also don't let Tori lose her bitch side because she does the glitter gag. And it's just it's good, and good character stuff right there, because it's a very gray area. You don't know who to root for. I'm always on Team Tori when it comes to them. I like the actress who plays Sam. But the character is, she drives a fucking Mercedes, man. Okay, she drives a Mercedes. I mean, come on, how can you like a character like that?
Yeah, like I said, this season she's been less annoying. The character
she has
been
been
annoying. I appreciate that. Another scene we forgot to talk about that I enjoyed was the showdown.
Oh yes,
that was fun.
So is this your favorite moment? This is your favorite moment?
No, my favorite moment is still Terry Silver versus Johnny. I just fanboyed out, man. Like I went crazy.
I was fanboying out though.
Here too, of course.
Because I know we've seen them fight a few times.
Yeah.
But just the whole everyone was watching and it was in their gis and stuff. I was like, oh my god.
And I was so happy they made it a tie. I was so happy they made it a tie because, to be honest, watching all of these seasons, I was kind of getting a little Dragon Ball Z vibe, and Daniel was Goku, and Johnny was Vegeta, always second fiddle.
Yeah,
I was I was like, you better not let Johnny fucking lose right now. And I was so happy they made it a tie. Thank you, show.
Daniel's still kind of a dick. I mean, he was a dick in season 1. Remember, he was doing everything in his power to get rid of his dojo. I mean, they really turned the tables in that first season. That's why I loved it, because they really made Daniel come off like a complete asshole, and he still got asshole in him. One of the key things about his character through the seasons is he thinks that the Miyagi way is the best and the only way. It's taken 4 seasons for this motherfucker hard-headed ass to finally come around and realize that it's not just the Miyagi way.
That's right.
And I gotta say, man, is it just me, or does Ralph Macchio look better doing karate now than he did as a kid?
Oh no.
I mean, he does, right? It's not just me.
No, he looks a lot better now, man, compared, because he's probably training now. He probably didn't even have any training when they were making those movies. They're probably like, all right, let's do this. You got to fight choreographer. All right, do that. But now, they train now, so they prepare, But yeah, I was so happy because, let's be honest, Daniel kind of leveled up learning that new style from Chosen, and he took out Kreese, not Johnny. So I always had the vibe that Danny was always one up over Johnny, and I like how he did the move on Johnny in the fight, and Johnny was like, "What the hell was that, man?" He could barely move his arm, but he's like, "What the hell was that?" That was his reaction, which kind of.
I think that's a result of what's been established with the Miyagi character, like almost through proxy. It's really Miyagi winning, not necessarily Daniel. Because it's like that's kind of like. I know it sucks because I'm with you. I want to see Johnny get some victories here. You know what I mean? But it's like if you have Daniel losing all the time and Johnny winning, then what's the value of Miyagi-Do? And I think that's why they kind of go that direction. I think they're going to have a hard time finding that balance. But they got to give Johnny some victories.
Yeah, I was happy they made this a tie. I was happy.
I feel like that final scene, they finally gave Johnny a victory, if you will. That final scene with him and Robbie was like 4 seasons. That's like, I feel like there was a lot of things that they finally, like with Johnny and LaRusso, for example, when they finally connected right at the end of that tournament there and told each other how they really felt, and they really were vulnerable with each other, right? I was like, fuck, man, that was like 4 seasons. They finally were able to do that. And the same with Robbie. I mean, that was like, you were just waiting for them to finally reconcile in some fashion. And they're just like in tears in each other's arms,
I also think Sam liking more the Eagle Fang than Miyagi is another victory for Johnny. Like like Daniel's daughter, his top student, so to speak, is more in favor of the Eagle Fang way. And I think that's another victory for Johnny. That shows the value of what he's teaching. which is
Yes.
important when you consider how, especially as older guys, have been so like through entertainment, have been trained like, you know, wax on, wax off, Miyagi way, and this and that. Now you're starting to see, hey, Johnny's way is not so bad either. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more tough, but that's not always necessarily a bad thing if it's coming from a positive mindset. So, now that I think about it, Johnny got some victories in different ways.
I was dying when he set up Daniel to fight the hockey players.
I love
that was great.
Scene.
I love when he looked at him. He was like, "No be there." You know.
I mean, because I was up, standing up, going like, "Yes!" I was like loving LaRusso kicking ass, dude. It was so awesome.
And then after all that, Johnny's walking in eating a pretzel. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, where were you? The pretzel, man. Oh man,
he was like, "No, be there." Remember?
I was getting a little concerned with these characters when we got to these characters. I was like, dude, why is everybody acting like a cartoon character right now?
It was very cringy.
What happened? What happened to the show? Like, don't stop this show.
Yeah, what is garbage?
Luckily,
think of the host?
Like, you can't trust that guy.
What'd you guys think of the host?
What the fuck is happening?
Oh, the
host. He enjoyed his job a little bit too much, man.
He's like, "This is my screen time."
He looked at the camera and he's like, "It's time for karate." And I was just like, "What the hell?"
Do that again.
Oh my!
Do that again.
Again, it's time for karate.
You make the same faces he did too. That's amazing.
It's impressive.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
I just thought it was almost like a parody of itself. Like, you know, I think was the whole idea was getting from it. Like,
and the crowd, let's be honest, the crowd was a little bit too excited in the beginning. You know, like we didn't even get to the tournament yet, and they were just doing katas, and the crowd was like in unison, all jumping up like, like we're just doing katas. We're just doing katas.
We're just doing katas.
But hey, it's a small town, man. Karate's their heritage. They're like, fuck it. But yeah, man. Love the way a lot of the fights were filmed. Sam was getting down on the side a little bit. Yeah, just
Sensei.
Yeah, very unexpected. But yeah, I agree with Rob. I'm very happy for Eli's character development here, and I really hope he gets his hawk back. Just you know, he realizes he doesn't need his hawk to be a badass, but he should still bring it back for fashion purposes. He should bring it back.
He should.
I highly agree with this. But yeah, yo, talking about the whole weakness thing, and bringing back that topic, and Silver sitting down with Kreese, man, having that conversation, getting a little drink, setting it up. He's like, I realized my weakness is you, Kreese, and he was like, me. He got pissed.
The lights start flashing.
He was about to bring it up again. I saved you or whatever. And he's like, there it is.
Yep. He's right too. He said
that manipulation. He's like, oh my God.
And poor Stingray got fucked up. That was the bad day for Stingray.
Dude, I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him.
Like, Silver.
You know what's weird is I don't know why, but I like completely forgot what happened. Like all of a sudden, Stingray was in the hospital in the next episode. For whatever fucking reason, I was like, why is Stingray in the hospital? Like, I don't know. Maybe I was traumatized from watching Terry Silver beat the shit out of them, like stomp on his face, like to end the scene. But I just like had completely forgotten. I was like, why is he in the hospital? And then at the end, the whole twist starts to happen. And I was like,
set him up.
It was Kreese. I cannot believe this is about to happen. You know what I mean?
Kreese up for what he, supposedly didn't do to Stingray. But back to the prison for you, Kreese. And I just love how when they pulled him away, he's like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of everything, Kreese. I got my boys."
You know what he was doing before Kreese came over? You know what he was doing?
Right.
We going back to Terry Silver.
But I love how he's just hearing that classical music. He's got his little drink. He's like just jamming. I was like, this dude. I'm like, dude, Kreese is like one of the best villains ever on this show, and he may be worse. I mean,
he's going to be a bad person. Yep.
Silver might be.
Is Kreese
take that to 11, man?
Is Kreese the big? Obviously, Kreese joins forces with Johnny Lawrence. Clearly, that's what I mean. Kreese is the one who saves Johnny Lawrence from getting his ass kicked worse. He literally says, "Stop right now, leave him
Terry
alone."
was gonna keep going.
And then, and then that's the one thing that at the end there that Terry says to him. He says, "This was never about you and I. This was never about us reliving the glory days. This was about you and Johnny Lawrence."
Yep.
And he's like that, and he goes, that's not true, because almost he realizes in the moment, oh shit, he's right.
And he said, "That's your weakness, Kreese."
Yeah. So I think Kreese and Johnny Lawrence join forces next
Cocaine
season.
time.
I mean, you have to admit this show is so fucking genius,
right?
I mean, I know we always said that for being so simple. Yeah, they're not fucking it up. They're doing a good job with it.
They're keeping everything in the gray area. There's really no. I mean, there's some definitive good guys. Obviously, I think Miguel has gotten past his. Well, we don't know what happened when he goes to Mexico, but obviously Daniel LaRusso. But I think Lawrence is probably going to be the one to bail him out of jail.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even think about that.
That'd be interesting. I don't think right away. This is what makes this interesting too is I saw this show ending possibly at season 5. I think we're going to get to a season 6. Because there's certain characters, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Goddamn right. Don't tell me that, Terry Silver.
That's it, Rob. You're getting a fake white wig, man, with the ponytail.
You know what's funny? I can do it. I have a long-haired wig.
You should do it, man.
And I can just spray paint it white. And next time we do something Karate Kid related, I'll bring it out.
But
hilarious. What I was going to say was I think this is definitely going to go to a season 6 because some of these characters that we can see the setup for them kind of getting together and burying hatchets and stuff like that is not going to happen in one season. I don't think it's going to happen that quickly. Tori and Sam, it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
Lawrence and Kreese are not going to happen overnight. No. I see this playing. I think there's a long game here where the grand final tournament where the good guys win is going to be the end of season 6. I don't even think we're going to get to a tournament next year. Now, this does remind me of one other criticism. I don't like the fact that Daniel's like, I'm still going to open a dojo. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wanted to see because it makes it a little too easy. I wanted to see a struggle next season. What is Daniel and Johnny going to do knowing that they cannot open a dojo? How are they going to defeat? Like, that would have been interesting. But now, right at the end, Daniel's like, it makes sense what he's saying. Don't get me wrong. I cannot agree to an honorable agreement with men who have no honor.
Right.
I get that. That makes sense. You know what I mean? But I also think that the reason he brought Chosen in was so that he can reopen Miyagi-Do with Chosen as the sensei, as the main sensei. And he's kind of like, because Chosen does know more than him.
That's how he's going to do it.
Yeah, Chosen does know more than him. And I think the other good thing about Chosen coming in next year is that he's going to have a more objective view between Johnny. I think he's going to be the catalyst to bring Johnny and Daniel together because I don't think they're quite there yet. In the heat of the moment, they got together because they wanted to win to stop Cobra Kai. But I think now that that's all done, I still think they're going to bump heads. These guys have not figured it out for the last 4 seasons. And I think Chosen's going to come in not only as a catalyst to run the dojo, but I think he's going to be the key to bringing them together.
Ooh, Chosen versus Johnny scrap.
Chosen will whoop that ass. Chosen will whoop that. Look, let's keep it real, okay? Daniel was plot armor that had him win Karate Kid 2. He had no business beating Chosen. Okay. Yeah. Chosen he was more muscular, he was faster, he was more, I love Daniel. Don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously,
plot armor saved him.
But Chosen's on a whole nother level. I mean, this motherfucker's the Ryu among, like fucking Dan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Street Fighter Dan. You know what I mean? Like he's So like Johnny and Daniel are like Dan, and fucking Chosen is like a combination of Ken and Ryu. You know what I mean? You just can't fuck with that. So.
Ooh. Here we go.
Chosen versus Silver. Chosen will whoop that ass.
I don't know, Silver.
Here we go. I like
you could bring a coked up Silver. Chosen still whooping that ass.
Yeah.
Silver gets wild, man. I don't know.
Here's a question for you, Rob.
I mean, is Hillary Swank Tori's mom?
No, because that would make Hillary.
Damn! What the fuck did Miyagi teach her for her to go downhill like that? I guess that would be interesting because wouldn't it be interesting to have a student of Miyagi that didn't make it, that didn't have a great life, that fucked up. That's a possibility. Nothing in this world is perfect.
So we haven't seen her mom yet?
No, her mom died though. Her mom's on her deathbed.
Tori.
Oh, okay.
Tori's mom's on her deathbed. So
okay. She's not dead yet.
She's not dead yet, but she's on her deathbed.
The stupid aunt is waiting for her to die.
Yes, her aunt's waiting. Right. Now, I think if Swank comes in, she may not come in as a connection to any character. I think she's going to come in hearing about the karate surge in the All Valley. That's what I think. I think she might roll in like Miyagi-Do. What? I got to go see what this is all about.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I see.
She's just riding by in the car and looks over to the left and sees Miyagi-Do, and you look over, it's fucking Hillary Swank. I mean, like, boom, season 5.
Help
like,
train.
That's all you got to do.
You can help train, bro.
Yeah, I mean that to me, because you don't have to have them all connected,
right?
You know, and you don't want to complicate things. I don't think you have to connect her to anybody. You can just have it so that she's happens to live in Cali and hears about the All Valley and hears about Miyagi-Do and all. Oh, like she might hear in the news next year, Miyagi-Do closing down after the. She's like, Miyagi-Do? Who's running Miyagi-Do? This is Mr. Miyagi. So it could be something like that. Here's another question: what are the chances at some point we see Will Smith's son come into this show?
I'm surprised that it hasn't happened yet, to be honest. I'm
surprised.
So? I'm surprised he's not Kenny, the Kenny character.
He's a little too old though now. Like he's like
Will Smith is. Oh yeah, that's true. Because
a little older, not much older.
Will Smith is an executive producer, so it might happen.
Yeah,
I think there was an interview. There was an interview. They said where they were asked that question. And Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah, but how do they do that? It's not in the same universe.
Well, that's exactly. That was his answer. He's the whole thing about Cobra Kai is the Miyagi verse, and Jaden Smith's character never interacted with Mr. Miyagi. It was,
it was Jackie
so
Chan.
there wouldn't really be a reason to include him.
There, right.
I'm just thinking because they're running out of people to bring back.
Right.
That's
but
why
do they need to bring back anyone else?
Yeah, they don't really need to. They
don't know. They don't need to. But the problem is that they set the standard. You know what I'm saying?
So you're expecting it.
Some people are. I don't think it needs it either. I'll be honest. But I think there are going to be like there's only three more people you could bring in: Mike Barnes, Hillary Swank, and then the girl that friend zoned Daniel in Karate Kid 3.
I feel like you got Barnes. You got Barnes for season 5 and Swank for 6. Like there's just I think the whole thing is just again like he hasn't. There's no connection between Jaden Smith's character and Mr. Miyagi.
Right.
You know what I mean? So but you have 2 huge people you can bring back for 5 and 6, and Barnes and Swank.
And
you know what I mean?
Like Rob was saying, and I think you said it too, Leo, with the Silver mentioning, I got my guys I can bring in. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect for Barnes to show up. Like, I'd be surprised at this point if he doesn't.
Right, I would be too. I'm pretty sure he is.
And I've seen the actor on a podcast. I told you guys I met him, right?
No.
I've seen the actor. Yeah, I got my picture with him and everything.
Oh wait, I think I did see that picture.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
It was kind of sad, but it was kind of sad, but he was a very nice guy. The only reason why I say it was sad is because the other Cobra Kai guys were there too from the first movie, and everybody was at their table and nobody was at his. It was sad, dude. He was sitting there by himself, like nobody was going over there to say hi to him. So I went over there and I took a photo with him and paid for a photo and an autograph, and that made his day. But yeah. Hopefully he's not struggling in real life.
He's a perfect.
Cool. Bring him in. Let's go. But I've seen him on a podcast where he would love to be a part of it. He said. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I mean, this show has revitalized a lot of careers. William Zabka. I mean, what the fuck was he doing before the show came around? I mean, Ralph Macchio. I mean, he hasn't been around much, but I mean, at least after Karate Kid, he had some movies. He
was always
Ralph.
He was in The Outsiders and
my cousin Vinny. He's been in stuff, so he has work.
And same thing with the guy who plays John Kreese. I didn't see him much of anything after Karate Kid. So I mean, this has been that's what makes the show even more special is that you get to see these guys. It's almost like they have a second chance,
Yeah.
And
come on,
and William Zabka is killing it. He's killing it on this show.
Yeah.
I think you said it, Leo. Johnny's character was the reason that got you interested in Cobra Kai. Yeah. Like if Cobra Kai started with we're just following Daniel, it probably would have failed.
I wouldn't
But-
have been as successful because they got
Right.
a whole fucking the whole Johnny's like 80s mentality, like he doesn't give a fuck and he's not PC and isn't up with the internet and still says things that are, you know, you're not allowed to say. That whole vibe is what
Yeah.
like locked me in, for one. You know what I mean? Because I was like, fuck yeah, dude, finally a show that like doesn't care about pissing people off so much. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a character that Johnny calls penis breath. I mean, you know, like in any other show, there's going to be an issue with that because it's bullshit.
Quiet.
You know,
Actually, I just want to respond real quick to one of your users here. I mean, your viewers. Let us remember that this was an Amazon Prime show that Netflix picked up. Actually, no, it was a YouTube Premium
Red.
show.
Right.
And I know that for a fact because I specifically
Red.
got the 7-day free trial to watch the first season
Right. That's
and
right. You
fell
told me
in
that.
love. And YouTube
Yeah.
was stupid to let it go. I don't think they expected it to blow up
Nope.
like this. I mean, this show is getting to like Game of Thrones, mid-time Game of Thrones status in terms of people watching it and talking about it, which is insane.
Insane.
Considering that a good majority of the fans of this show were not even born when Karate Kid came out.
Right.
So, which is
They're not even born with the next Karate Kid movie was out. They weren't
that's
born
true
yet.
too. Yeah.
But yeah,
Am I the only one that gets all emotional any fucking time they mention Mr. Miyagi or bring Mr. Miyagi on screen? I'm just like,
it's hard not to.
Yeah,
hard not
it
to,
is. It does. Pat Morita. Yeah.
because they only did it one time, I think, this season, right? And that was at the end, right there, where they were
When they're planting the bonsai tree, I think.
right. And
Yeah.
that was the scene, you know, that you had mentioned originally, Preston, and then Rob, you had talked about, like that was the whole theme of like the whole, you know, realizing, you know, that Miyagi-Do wasn't the only way, and you could combine, you know, and have your own way. It's just, you know, it's that perfect little nostalgia they insert every time, you know.
Yep.
Oh man, Mr.
And
Miyagi.
another character I want to talk. We haven't talked about him much, but I want to talk about Robbie because this was a smart motherfucker this year. The first thing he did, and when he did, I'm like, man, this dude's smart. He was like, I'm going to teach you Miyagi karate. I was like, these guys are going to have a big advantage this year. And they did. It really took them a long way in the tournament when they were fighting Miyagi-Do. It only took some of Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang's top students to kind of get it together at the end. But Robbie, I liked Robbie's character this year. He was very indifferent. He tried. He thought he was smart and like kind of outsmarting, but really Terry Silver is so diabolical and such a cerebral assassin that he was actually kind of this. He had Robbie in the palm of his hands without Robbie even realizing it.
Yeah.
But I liked Robbie's character this year. He wasn't very whiny. He was very composed. Like he had his mindset, was able to tell off Sam. I like when he told off Sam. What the fuck was she wearing? She looked like she was. Remember that scene when she went to go see Robbie?
Yeah.
And she came out of the car and I'm like, they don't have to dress them like they're in the 80s. Nobody wears that shit anymore.
Yeah.
She should be wearing yoga pants. That's what all the girls are wearing.
I really liked Robbie's character. Yeah, this year for sure.
He put on a little bulk too. You saw his arms. The boy was a little ripped this year.
He was more like Rob said, he was more focused, more business, less whine.
Yes.
Less whiny. That was great. And of course,
I mean,
the
he was
ending.
in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, this was great. He said, I'm tired of blaming you, Dad.
Ooh, here's an interesting question. Because we didn't talk about this either. The connection with Kenny and his brother being in jail with Robbie. So do we think that's going to put now? Do you think there's a potential that Kenny's brother ends up coming out of jail, joins his brother at Cobra Kai, and ends up being one of the top villains?
Sure.
Yeah, that would be a cool dynamic.
I think that might be interesting there. Yeah. And it'll be like Robbie and Miguel versus him, and or here you go. You guys will love this, right? Daniel's son and like Robbie versus Kenny and his brother. And now Daniel's son turns out to be like the chosen one of the show. Will you guys be happy with that?
That's what I think they're going to do next season is that
they got to cut the fucking hair though.
They got
to cut the hair. He looks like a bobblehead.
And, yeah.
Let's just
hey, Dad. Huh? Yeah, can I get my tablet? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, he looks like a bobblehead.
I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this right now. If I act the way this little shit acted to his parents and talked to his parents, if I did that when I was a kid, I wouldn't be alive. I'm just being honest right now.
I wouldn't
Well,
either.
there's that scene where LaRusso full on says "quiet," like or shut. He like
And
goes
he
off
cracks
on
his tablet in half on
cracks
his
his
knee.
tablet.
That was fucking
Yeah.
great. I was like,
I
finally.
remember looking. Oh, dude, because you just saw him just full on. He was just like all scared of his dad in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't fuck with Daniel LaRusso, kid. You know what I mean?
It's never too late to redeem a character, but as long as they do it right in the next one, I don't want him to be super squeaky clean, like right off the beginning of season 5. He's like A+ student. Like, no, let this realistically happen.
He's gonna struggle. Sam struggled. He'll struggle, but
I hope so.
I'm gonna struggle watching him with that fucking hairpiece.
He just got. I mean,
I'm not letting that go until it's
letting
cut.
it go.
That shit got to get cut.
Ass kicked. He did just get his fucking. He got embarrassed.
I know he gave him the Agent Smith right in the gut.
Kenny kicked his ass. I feel like starting next year, it's going to be a whole like don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? And then everyone heard about the fight. And he's gonna
Kenny did more Agent Smith than Diet Agent Smith in Matrix Resurrection.
Oh, let's not get me started on that shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta say like Rob, Crystal Light.
Smith. Crystal Light Agent Smith. Can't even give a diet.
All right, let's go ahead and Rob's like, don't get me started again. Let's go ahead and rate this sumbitch out of 5 stars, 3 being average. Rob, what are you giving season 4 of Cobra Kai?
Definitely like a 4.5 stars, easy.
Yeah.
And the only reason there's the half stars taken away is for some of the criticisms I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, that's hard to hold it against the show. To be in your 4th season and not have diminishing returns at this point is pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive.
It is. Again, like I was saying in the beginning, this show should not exist or be as this good. It shouldn't, but it's nice to be pleasantly surprised. Leo, what are you giving season 4?
Yeah, I'll give it 4 out of 5 for sure.
All right, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
I'm gonna pull a Rob. I'll do a 4.5 out of 5. Really enjoyed it, and make sure you guys check it out if you haven't seen it. Again, it's like all shows, like all great shows. Some of the greatest shows out there have flaws. There's nitpicks. There's no perfect show. They're all going to have their issues. However, again, every season's just improving upon itself for a show that should suck balls. And it should not work at all. If anything, this should have been a nice little fun fan film that brought the actors back together. They did a fake trailer. Hey, let's continue the story, and then that's it. But we have 4 seasons of this, and
our Christmas special.
Yeah. That's right. Shout out to my new uncle. That's right, my new uncle. I've adopted him. He does not know this. Thomas does not know this. But thanks again for watching, guys. Y'all know what you need to do. Subscribe to the Retro One. That's right. It's a classic channel. That's right. Okay. And subscribe to Rob from Entertainment Talk Nation, son. He's going to be wearing that Terry Silver wig. Stay tuned. He's going to have Terry Silver moments or Terry Silver rants. There you go, Rob.
I got to get some baking soda and dump it on my... Yeah, that's right. Cobra Kai.
All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and subscribe to Samurai Guy if you're new here. A lot of cool stuff coming, and I'll see you badasses on the next one. Take care. Hey!